Today on In the Wood Yard, we got more Christmas trees to trim. Here we go. So back here on my dad's property today, yesterday, my brother Eric and I, we trimmed, I guess, 500-600 trees in one patch. And then I did another 20 in another little area, and then I did a bunch of bigger ones. I only filmed a little bit of that, so I trimmed, I don't know, maybe a dozen or so up there, and then I probably did another dozen not on camera. But I'm down in the low area. This is kind of the old riverbed area here. The Wisconsin River is right over there. My dad lives in central Wisconsin. Wisconsin River runs right past his property. He's got, I think, 69 acres, something like 68 acres, something like that. He's got his own little lake. I think it's like a 7-acre lake or 8-acre, 9, I don't know. It's a little lake, and he's got a couple little ponds too. Where we were at the end of the day yesterday was up on the high part, because there's like a ridge that runs and it slopes down, and that's kind of the edge of the old riverbed from, you know, centuries, well, millennium ago. And then this area down here is the good soil. This is the black dirt, sandy loam. Everything grows way better down here. Everything stays moist, does not need watering down here. It's excellent. But up on the hill where we were yesterday, that's dry, that's sandy, that needs watering. So we're down in an area here where there's a lot of big trees that have grown up past maturity as far as harvesting. Like this one here is probably a 30-footer. I don't know if you can see up there, how big is that? It's a nice tree, but we're not going to sell too many of those. We sell some, we sell a few, but most of what we sell is the, you know, 6, 7, 8-footers. Once in a while, you'll get someone that wants a 10 or a 12, something like that, and we'll take one of these big boys down and just cut some off the bottom to get it to the height they want it to be. Now, I already trimmed a few trees. I've already got a little sweat going on here. It's much warmer today. Yesterday was in the 60s, today's in the 70s, tomorrow's going to be in the 80s, so I'm going to get a bunch of them trimmed today. I got about an hour and a half here. I'm going to be able to trim, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get to work right now. So if you watched yesterday's video, you would have seen that I did a bunch of trimming. We trimmed a bunch of trees we call stumpers, and that's what a lot of these are. There was originally a tree like right here, and then this is just a branch that grew up from the base. So they grew up from the stumps, and you got a little bit about maybe a foot or so where it's got a little curve to it, and then it's perfectly straight. And they usually do really good, and there's a bunch of them in here. There's hundreds. We counted, I should say my dad walked around and counted. He figures there's well over 500 to 600 in here somewhere in this whole area. This is, I don't know how many acres this is here. I just got to guess. This might be 8 to 10 acres of trees, and there's a lot of real big ones as you can see behind me. But we're going to take a lot of these little ones here and we're going to trim them up so they're either good for this year or they're going to be good next year. My dad doesn't sell as many trees as he used to. He used to sell, because he had a couple locations, now he just sells out front on his driveway out there. And at his peak, like I said yesterday when you were watching, he used to sell 900 to 1,000, like it was good years, and then he would just quit. He didn't want to sell any more than that, and he did that for 30 years. And sometimes he sold in bulk. He would sell, you know, a couple hundred to someone who had a corner stand, but most of the time it was one at a time. People would come and buy them, and people could come cut their own, or he would have a lot of them where he had them cut down. The nice thing about having a small lot like he had, and a lot of people knew it, is that his trees were fresh cut, because my brothers and I would always cut them. We'd always come and spend 4 or 5 days. We'd take turns coming and harvesting 20, 30, 40 trees at a time. Sometimes you do 100 in a day, get a bunch done, and they would sell. 4 or 5 days later, you come back, harvest a whole bunch more, and so they were always within a day or two of being cut to the way they were sold. Whereas a lot of trees that you buy in lots, they're going to be cut a month or two in advance. 2 months is real common, which is why they die. So I don't recommend that. They start harvesting trees around here 2 months before Christmas, which is ridiculous. But that's what they got to do to get them to market. So we don't do it that way. We cut them fresh so that they're good trees. But we're not in it to sell, you know, tens of thousands or millions of them. Hundreds is all we want to sell. Just enough to, basically my dad always said it paid the taxes on the land, and it bought him a couple trucks. That's what he was out for in his retirement. He enjoyed doing it. So we're going to get trimming right now. Okay, so this is the first tree right here we're going to trim. I don't know, it's probably a 10-footer, but we're going to cut it down so it's about an 8-footer. thing of beauty. I must say so myself. All right, on to the next one. So this tree will not be ready for this year, but I'm going to get it looking good. Couple more years, this will be really nice because it's already close to height. Just got to fill out, grow up just a little bit, and it'll be good to go. A lot of them like that. Next door, we got another one here, and there's a double right here and right here. I'm going to get rid of this little guy and then trim around this one and make this one look decent. There. 3 or 4 years, this will be nice. So yeah, they just need maintenance. We're going to do one over here. I see it's a small one, but we can make it look good eventually. So there's that guy right there. We're going to trim around it and get this out of here. Got some stuff trimmed out. Now that tree can fill out nice. And for those of you that want to know, yes, there's bees in the hives. No, they're not my dad's. He's got a guy that he lets put bees here, and my dad gets free honey. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14 hives. There you go, for the bee guys. So the aviarians, is that how you say it? I don't know. Bee people. All right, we're going to a new spot. So here's kind of a tall, skinny guy, and we're gonna take some off the top so that it fills out more, kind of shape it, because it's a skinny guy. The Slim Jim, not nice now, but someday it will be. I see all kinds of guys over here we're going to do some trimming on. There's a little one right here that's far enough away from this one I can make this one look like a decent tree too eventually. There we go. This one we don't want. Because it is a jack pine. We don't sell jack pines for Christmas trees, but this one right here next to it is a nice one, so we're going to make it a tree. There we go. To the next. So here's another one that's growing up from a nice straight stem there, so I can shape this and cut some of the stuff away down on the bottom here and make this look like a good tree eventually too. There we go, in a few years, that'll fill out. A couple right back here, and I'm gonna make one of them into a tree, because there's actually a cluster there, so I'm gonna take out that one and then trim this one up and cut that stuff over there. So we're gonna take this one completely out of here. Right next door here we can make pretty. This boy right here. Okay, so what I just did on this tree, you can see there was branches from this one growing into it, and I'm still going to hack off these taller ones here because they're right over the top of this tree. So basically, this tree doesn't need these bottom branches. It's got plenty up above. I'm going to give this one as much sun as I can. So I'm going to open this up even more here so that this one gets more sun. It'll fill out really nice because that'll be a nice tree. It's just that it was getting crowded here, so you're going to get an empty spot here on this side, or a naked side, whatever you want to call it. Thin side, flat side. Not good. So we're going to open this up even more and reach up and cut these off, and then a couple of years this one will fill out and this will be a really nice tree. So that's what we're going to do. More space for the tree to live. Basically what you want to do is give each tree an unfair advantage over all the other trees. That's why you trim them. You trim all the brush away, any other trees that are going. I've been cutting a lot of little ash trees, like you see these little ash trees growing here. Then there's a whole bunch of this thorny stuff. I think this is it's like prickly ash, I think is what we call it. I don't know what it is, but it's just nasty crap. So I trim a bunch of that stuff out too everywhere that I see it, just to open it up and take the competition away that the tree has, so that there's nothing more than grass growing around it. Now, one question that's probably going to come up and people will ask is, how come we don't trim around the trees? Well, we used to. My dad's 84 now, and he doesn't have the ability to do all the trimming around the trees. He used to have a like a DR trimmer or something like that, he'd walk around and he would whack all around all the trees, do everything up and down when he was serious, and he had hundreds and thousands of trees grow, tens of thousands of trees growing. He would really keep it nice, but he just can't do it anymore. So that's why I'm here, actually, is just trying to save the few trees that he's got so that he can sell them. And there's not a lot here as far as a Christmas tree business. I mean, all together there's probably 1,100 total trees that can be sold. We quit planting probably 6-7 years ago. He didn't want to plant anymore because he didn't want the work, even though his boys wanted to plant more. He just said, you know, I just really don't want to do it because I feel like I have to get out there and trim and water. And he said, just let the trees that are here, the bigger ones, let them just keep growing. He said it'll look really pretty because someday this will all be sold and could be developed for homes. Because like I said, he's got about I think he's got, I forget how many feet, 1,200, 1,300 feet of the Wisconsin River he owns, frontage. And like I say, he's got his own little lake or pond over there too. So someday this will be a really nice development. Could be anyway, if that's what's going to happen to it someday. So we're going to open this up right now. Okay, so I'm just going to whack some of these branches back here. There. Okay, oh, we got one right here. The last tree. So now it gets lots more sun here. It's not perfect, but it's pretty dang good. Ooh, there's a good one right behind the camera. Let's go check this one out. Now that guy glowing in the sun. All right. That's got a double, I see. If you look from the sun side, you can see back through here, he's got a double in there. I'm gonna take this back one out right away. I'm gonna stand on it, bend it over, and now I'm gonna trim off the bottom. There, that one's gone. Now that side can fill out better. Much better. Yeah, that tree will fill out really nice eventually. It's going to be a nice one. I can just tell by the shape of it already. Once that fills out, it'll be a beauty. More trees. So the last tree I trimmed is right there. I just turned here and there's a whole cluster of them right here to trim. So we're going to work on these. And I can tell this has not been trimmed for a couple years. Well, anyway, because there's a lot of this stuff growing up, and this should all be trimmed out of here. And all the doubles that you're going to see that I'm trimming out of there, like that last one, those should have been cut out right away, like 2, 3, 4 years ago. As soon as you notice them, you should cut them out. So we're going to start trimming on this one. Better. Oh, there's another one right here. There we go. And we're going to do this one right here. better. Ooh, there's a good one over this way. This is a nice shaped tree right here. And it's getting close to being ready. We're gonna make it so it's much better. Smells like Christmas. That's gonna be a nice tree. The one next to it, this one right over here, I'm not so concerned about. It's not nearly as good of a tree, so I just hacked some away from it. I should just cut it down, really. Actually, looking at it, I think I should, but it's too big for this to cut because it's pretty big on the bottom, but it's an ugly tree. It's got a crooked to it. It's got bare spots. That one's nice. And then this one over here it's competing with, this guy, is a better shaped tree too. So I'm gonna trim this one up really a lot, so we know it's not a good one. There, it can grow from there. I'm gonna trim this one and cut this guy down over here. Big on the bottom. That was a tough one, did not want to come down. Woo, it's getting hot. There we go. So I just walked over to another area. There's a nice tree, there's a nice tree, there's a nice tree. That one won't be any good because it's right underneath that one, so it's gonna be naked on that side. So, but these three are gonna be real nice. This one's gonna be really nice, out in the open, plenty of space. This one right here, I think maybe we'll leave it for now. This one back here, if I trim all the way around it and trim some branches off, this could be a good one right here. This one here, this is a good one here. But all this has got to go because it's in competition and none of them are gonna be nice together for a Christmas tree, but this one would be. Here's one right here that's really, really nice shaped. You can see right here, it's got a nice shape to it, but it's got a little competition one here. We're gonna trim that out. This one here is skinny, but it'll look good. This one right here is a beauty. This will be good this year. All I gotta do is just shape it a little bit and trim off some on the top there and kind of trim that out. This one here could be good, but it's got brush all around it, so we're gonna trim all that crap out of there. Here's another one right here that could be trimmed up. Here's another one right here that's gonna be a nice tree. Got to trim all this stuff. So I haven't trimmed in this area in, I don't know, I haven't trimmed this area in 2 or 3 years, and I can tell that my dad hasn't been trimming much in the last few years. My brother did a little bit last year. He said he trimmed for 2 half days or something. He just kind of touched up a few trees, but those got harvested. He trimmed just the nice ones. But there's a lot of trees in here that are really nice shaped that just need to be trimmed up, and within a year or two they're going to be awesome. I'm just going to walk through over here. I haven't been down this way yet. Another nice one right here. Another nice one here. Here's a cluster, so I would take this one out, this one out, this one out, leave that one and trim it up nice. This one here could be nice, but it's got a juniper next to it. It needs to be hacked out. That one's in competition with the juniper, so we got to trim all that out. These here, I would pick one or the other. Probably leave that one, take this one out, because this one's farther away. They're too close to make. Both make nice trees. But everywhere you look, there's nice trees started here. It's just a matter of finishing them off, trimming them up, and letting them fill in a little bit over the next year. So, I mean, there's, like I said, I've maybe covered 1/4 of an acre so far, and there's 8 or 10 acres in here. I don't know, there's a bunch. As I'm walking through here, there's trees here. Here's another cluster here that this needs to be, that's probably the best one right there. And maybe take all this out and leave this one. Take everything else out, leave this one and that one. Another nice tree over here. There's a lot of trimming to do in here, man. I didn't realize there's as much. So I can see my dad hasn't trimmed in a while. So like this right here, this should have been trimmed out a long time ago. Because it's got a double top going. You don't really want double tops. There's another double top. This one right here did get trimmed out. Right here I can see last year that got trimmed, but that should have been trimmed down a little farther, possibly. I mean, there's just everywhere you look, there's trees. Everywhere. Everywhere there's trees. And it's not like they're all in a row, they're just kind of scattered, which is okay, but they need work. So I'm gonna trim for another hour and get tired because I'm already breathing heavy because I'm so out of shape. It's ridiculous. Okay, gotta go find where I left my trimmer. So since I talked to you last, I just trimmed maybe another 20 trees or so in about an hour. I trimmed some bigger ones. They took a little more and I had a lot of brush to cut around them. So maybe 25, I don't know. In a couple minutes you can trim a tree. Sometimes if they're out in the open, it's 10 seconds. But these are bigger trees and I had to reach up as high as I could reach. I trimmed a bunch of branches around them, cut a bunch of brush around them. So I got a lot of them trimmed up, but there's hundreds more to go. And I'm not gonna have time to do them today. I will be back next week to do some trimming. So you can come on back then, probably about a week from now. Week and a half, something like that, I'll come back. I got a stump I got to cut up for my dad, a great big huge one. So I'm gonna come do that on a day and then do some more trimming. So it's nice to do it in batches. A couple hours of trimming and your arms are pretty tired because you're lifting that thing the whole time. Now a lot of guys when they trim, they use the knives, the machete thingies, and they just walk around like this. And that's fine for a few hours and they're light and everything and they can do a good job. But this is so thick and rushed, those wouldn't work. You got to have something where you can cut the brush and stuff because this is overgrown now. It's in need of work. It's been a while since it was done well. So my dad can't do it anymore. He's got a bad arm. He has balances going. I tripped and fell twice while I was out there trying and fell. I just kind of went down on my knees, but because there's rows where these were planted, so there's furrows that you got to go through and you don't see them and you step in. That kind of stuff. So I'll be back tomorrow with a new video. Tomorrow I think we're going to do some firewood processing. So you should come on back 5:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. I will see you then. Good night, Irene.